Right, let's have a look at this hacker inside to see what's going on, what's creating the distortion. So we'll back off it and get the chassis out. Quite easy to work on these radios, they're quite nice and well thought out and put together. Just these slide catches. That's the back panel off. Now, the next thing to do is to remove the knobs. Now sometimes these knobs actually freeze on, because might be lucky with this one, might not be. It doesn't feel like it's going to come off very easily. What you can actually do is apply a bit of a heat from the soldering iron on the shaft, just to warm the shaft up, or spray a bit of contact cleaner and a lubricant on the WD-40 or something like that, just on the knob, the back of the knob. You must be careful when you do it not to try and get too much grease on the tuning string. And as you can see here, there's screws come loose, and this back of this panel's come loose as well, so that's going to need to be repaired as well. That's one knob off. That's moving, that one's off as well. That's good. To remove the speaker wire, just check anything else is not connected. Looks good. Go over to the front. Got some bolts here. That spinner will fit. Good guess. That's a 2BA nut spinner. BA bolt, should I say. These bolts aren't that tight, so I'm wondering if this radio has had previous work done it. When I loosen the last bolt off, I need to make sure that the chassis is not going to tip forward and damage the glass. Okay, should lift out now. There you go. Okay, right, let's have a quick look, see what we've got then. There's the front of the radio, and this is the Magic Eye. It looks like it's located correctly, so it's probably a biasing problem with the screen adjustment that alters there's a screen connection, and you basically adjust the bias on the screen, it pulls like the curtain across the Magic Eye. It's a bulb will need replacing. Maybe not, it was actually loose, that bulb. Let's get him out, because nice little spider. Okay, so let's have a look underneath and see what we've got. So it's using EL86 output valves. It's exactly the same as the previous, or the latter model, should I say. All the tuning controls are very stiff, so I'll have to grease those up. Let's have a look underneath. Okay, it's using these awful electromold capacitors, which are known to leak. These things are rubbish as well. they'll all be leaky. So I think the first thing to do is probably start going through all the capacitors and taking them out and replacing them. It's always a good idea at this stage, is before you start, is to take some photographs, just to so you know that if you disconnect something you can remember where it went. So it's always a good idea to get some sort of close-up photographs of the tack strip for component, you know, where the components actually came off. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to take a photograph with the phone. Right. Just for future reference. And just basically, I'm only going to start with the waxes and these horrible things here. So I'm going to cut these out. So we need some. These are electrolytic actually. That's a 50 mic, 50 mic, 50 mic, and 50 mic. They'll all be dry, so they'll be changed. These are from memory, the coupling capacitors to the audio amplifier, and on the previous one, they were absolutely, well, they're leaky. And also, if you can see here, I shall show you. You see this capacitor here. I can't see very well because I can't see the camera, but there's a blowhole in this capacitor, so that capacitor's gone. So that's going to need to be replaced. And what I'll probably do is, what is it? It's a 250 mic capacitors at what's that, 450 volts? I think they are 450. I can't remember. So they'll need to be, that needs to be recapped. So that capacitor will have to come out. And also, because that capacitor is shorted, we need to just check that. This is the selenium rectifier here, and that will also need to be looked at to make sure it's okay. So first of all, let's find some .047s for this. These are .005s. We'll track some capacitors down. So let's have a look, see what I've got in the range of capacitors. .47s, that's noted. I've got 100 nan. Let's see if I'm going to need .047s. Okay, so what I'll do next is I'll try and find some capacitors to replace this electrolytic with. So basically probably just cut this whole capacitor out, leave it in position so it looks original, and just wire a, so this is one section, this is one part of the 47 mic, and that looks like the output of the selenium rectifier, which it is. We need to connect a capacitor up to there. So what I think I'll do is I'll edit the next video into this one. I'm going to have a look for some capacitors, and once I've found some capacitors we'll start changing them.